Hi guys, welcome back to Style with Substance and happy 2019. I haven't spoken to you guys in a little while, and if I'm honest, I took a little bit of an extended Christmas break just to settle into the new year really nicely. But I am ecstatic to be back. I really did miss filming and I wanted to come back to you guys refreshed and pretty much ready to go and kick right into this brand new year that we're in. So I filmed this look, so it's basically like a chatty life update, get ready with me style video for you guys, just so you can catch up on all things Style with Substance. So I thought it'd be good to kind of talk you guys through what my goals are for 2019 and all the different areas I'm just trying to elevate really. So hope you enjoy the video. Make sure that you are subscribed for lots of fantastic new content coming in 2019, hopefully. I will be uploading a lookbook after this video next week, so if you want to check that out, definitely do stay tuned. But otherwise, you can get right into the video. We are getting ready for the day today. It is Sunday, so I'm doing a same day film and upload. I have a cup of tea in this lovely mug. I'm off sugar for the year. Well, not for the year, but I'm off sugar right now, so that didn't taste as good as I needed it to. But anyway, I've got randomly Laura Mercier. I've got some lashes. I've got my makeup bag with all my goodies. I've got my makeup brushes here. And I've got my Morphe 35C palette. So let's just get cracking. My goodness, it feels like it's been longer than it has been, in all honesty. I really missed filming, but I felt like I needed to step away, just refresh and like not feel like it was a chore, or not feel like I didn't want, or I wasn't in the mood, or just put out something for the sake of putting something out. So I took a little break just to get myself settled into the new year, which so far has been really good. I've been back in the gym and I am trying to eat healthily during the week. I am loving work at the moment. I am... yeah, there's a lot of positive stuff happening, so I'm really pleased about that. But I wanted to get on here and have the first video of the new year be like a life update, a chit chat, get ready with me, and I'm quite enjoying these, or I'm quite enjoying watching them on YouTube anyway, so I thought let me film one for myself. Yeah, just give you guys an idea of what my plans and goals are for 2019 and all of that good stuff. So I need a small mirror, but actually I feel like I've got one on one of these. Yeah, I've got one in here. So I'm going to start with my brows as usual. This is not a tutorial, so I'm not going to be going into detail on my steps and stuff, but I will, you know, just sort of mention what I'm doing. So yes, goals for 2019. So I guess I can't start talking about goals for 2019 without sort of giving a fair assessment of how I think 2018 went. And I would definitely say 2018 was a year of learning, a year of growth, and definitely growing pains associated with that. I was kind of on it was a process, I feel like, 2018, and for a lot of people, everyone has a year like it. It's one of those years where you feel like, okay, I just need to break away from everything that I know and almost, what can I say, like rebuild the foundation, like start from scratch. Yeah, I'd say that was it, because I felt like I'd sort of been on a path that I'd outgrown almost. So I didn't feel like the path I was on fitted with the life that I was living, or my circumstances. So I just felt like I'm just going to go back to the drawing board, scrunch everything up, and there was a lot of scrunching, and start again. And that I did. And I feel like while I don't think you're ever really there in terms of I don't know, being exactly who you want to be. I feel like there's always a process of refinement and continuous improvement, but I feel like, you know, I'm in a better place than I was last year, as in I've accepted, not that I hadn't accepted, but I feel more comfortable with where I'm at in life, and I know that I'm exactly right where I need to be when I need to be there. So all is well there. I think in 2018 I learned that like, as far as my mindset, and no, not mindset, as far as my my mind is concerned, it's an area that I absolutely need to pay more attention to. And, you know, the thoughts that I let into my mind and the things that I work myself up about are not always things that need to be taking up that much space in my head. So I learned to let go, and boy did I let go. I learned to let go, and I learned that you don't have to have it all figured out, and you don't have to have all the answers, and sometimes you're not always going to do the right thing, but as long as you feel good and you feel like, you know, you can sleep at night, that's the most important thing, because there is nothing worse than building or making yourself anxious over things that, one, aren't that important, and two, you have no control over. So I just learned to let go, and let God, basically. 2018, I really built up my faith in a big way again, and I'm really pleased about that, because I feel like it put me at a more grounded place. So yeah, lots of lessons learned. I don't want to go into like too much detail around like everything, because this is really about 2019, and we've got to move on. We've got to move on, and I'll be able to get onto that right after I finish my brows. This is just the hardest part of my makeup routine. So I'm using this Revlon Colour Stay, what's it called? Brow pencil in the colour dark brown, which is shade 220. And I'm just using it to just darken up my brows. I had them microbladed and shaded, and I definitely want to get them shaded again. The microblading, I didn't feel like, I'll be honest, microblading is great, but for me, once the scabs fall off, it fades quite quickly, because I have very oily skin. So they look freaking amazing when the scabs are like still there, because you can kind of see like more of a built up effect, like a 3D brow almost. But then once the scabs fall off and the colour fades, it's not that they don't look good, it still looks a lot better than what I used to have, but I felt like the shading made more of a difference. I think when I go back, I'm just going to get shading done. So that's that. Yeah, brows are the one, you know, facial feature I am, you know, very pleased about. Lashes, we're still working on, you know. I've accepted the fact that they will only ever be so long, and therefore I will always be a faulty wearer if I need, you know, my eyes to pop, which is fine. So as far as I thought about how to tackle this video and approach like the subjects, what's the word I'm looking for? Just approach my priorities for 2019, and I guess there's a few main areas that I always like to look at. So relationships, so whether that's like romantic relationships, relationships with friends, family, colleagues, whatever, but that's just one area that I always think is quite important. I also look at finances always, because we're adults and we have to. Then I like to look at spirituality, and I call it mindfulness. And then I'd say health and fitness is another area, very important, particularly as I get older and my metabolism threatens me with slowing down. And then I'd say leisure, like fun. And that's not a category I would ever have normally had, but I feel like it's definitely important and it's something that I need to split out by itself. So yeah, absolutely, having fun is on the priority list. And to be honest, it should fall into all of those categories, you know, having fun with health and fitness, having fun in relationships, having fun, you know, enjoying your money, etc. It just kind of fits into all of those areas. So, but I'll give it its own category. What do we start with? Let's start with relationships. I went into 2018 single, and I would definitely say I spent a good chunk of last year just adjusting to being me again, solo dolo, and I spent another chunk of it kind of redefining what it is that I am looking for in my 30th year of life as far as a romantic relationship is concerned. Okay, we'll start there. So I dated a little bit. I dated, and I didn't date my type. Not that I even have a type, or not that the type that I like is the type that I ever really date. But I just, like, you know, just said, just tried lots of things different. So I, you know, veered away from my usual and just said, and let's see. And I think from that I learnt a few things that I want, a few things that I don't necessarily think are a priority for me anymore, and a few things that for me are, I guess you would say, deal breakers. I come into 2019 feeling like I know what I don't want, and I have a very good idea of one of the core qualities that I am looking for in somebody to, you know, be with, share my life with, whatever. And that, I would say, is someone who has a very positive energy, outlook, mindset and spirit about them. So someone who is, and I hate to say it, but somebody who has a really good vibe about them, who, you know, when you're around them, you kind of feel like you're having a great time, you are laughing, you're joking around, you're talking positively about people, the future, the present, like everything is just positive energy, and that is what I gravitate towards. So I said, screw my type, physically anyway, and if somebody has that kind of energy about them, then that's it. That's what I want. So the search is on. I hate to call it a search because I don't think you should go looking for love, and I'm not looking for love. What I'm looking for, it's in my bones to not grow old. No, what I'm looking for is, I'm just looking to be in situations where I'm having a great time and I am, you know, letting loose, as it were. And I know that the kind of person who I would want, which is someone who, you know, is also having a good time, will find me in those circumstances. And if they don't, they don't. But I think that's how it works. You kind of do the things you love doing, and, you know, put yourself in situations where you are like your most happy, and that's when you meet the people, the best people, because they see you being the real you. So that's a POA on that. That's an update on that. So yeah, 2019 even, we're dating, and we'll just see how it goes, really. So that's that. Sorry, okay. So I just carved out my brows with NARS, the last dregs of my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I was going to try and get some more Estee Lauder Double Wear out of here, but it's finished, so I definitely need to get a top up of that. But what I have been using, which is quite new, is this Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation in the shade 350, which is caramel, and I'm loving it, and I'm loving the price. I think it's like definitely under £10, whereas their sale order is like 30 quid. And much as I love a good foundation, that's not what I would want to be wearing every single day. So yes, that's relationships in terms of romantic. As far as friends and family go, 2018 was a great year for strengthening relationships with my siblings. Like, we definitely bonded more as friends, and that was enjoyable. And I think we definitely lent on each other a lot. There were definitely times where we all, me included, needed the comfort of family, and there's nothing like being friends with your family. So I enjoyed, especially in the summer, spending time with them. So I would say my goal for 2019 is to just continue to support each other in the different phases of life that we're going through, and just be, just try and be like a support system for them, particularly my siblings, because they're younger. And as much as I say be a support system, but in the same breath, allow them to grow on their own, and experience life on their own terms. Sorry, I need to get a bigger mirror because this is not working for me. That's better. So yeah, not that they need my help, to be honest. They are all like incredible human beings, and I couldn't be prouder. So I'm just here to witness the glow up that I'm sure they will no doubt experience. So very proud older sister, but also I've enjoyed the friendship that we've built over the last few years, especially as the boys kind of get older and we can kind of talk to them about real stuff. These are the days that we used to look forward to when we were younger. It was me and my sister. We used to say, "Oh, I can't wait until they grow up and we can actually talk to them and have conversations with them." And now here we are doing that. We like socialise a lot together. Like, it's been fun. It's been nice. I couldn't, honestly, I think one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for in my life is the relationship I have with my family, particularly my immediate family, and my siblings, because it's very easy for people to grow up and just sort of live their own lives and do their own thing, but we've very much become friends, and that's been really lovely. So yeah. Anyway, enough gushing. If my brother sees this, he'll just say I'm being really over emotional about it, so I'll stop there. So that's that. As far as relationships with friends, so you guys know I don't have like loads of like close friends. Sorry, I don't have loads of friends. But last year I met a lot of new people, and it was weird because I didn't go out looking to meet new people, but I think because of where my head's at and being single and just generally feeling more open, I just met loads of new people. So met a couple new people who I would call like my friends, and strengthen the friendships that I already have. And it just so happens that some of the people who I'm really close to friendship-wise have like their lives are like developing and growing, like starting families, and it's been amazing to watch. So I guess my goal in 2019 is to be a better friend and to welcome the new people who have come into my life and to just continue to treasure the people who have always been there. You guys will probably know, my friend Karen, she's been on the channel quite a bit. So she had a baby last year, it was like a few weeks ago, baby boy. So we are like, that was an incredible way to go into the Christmas season, and we couldn't be more ecstatic, all of us. I know I didn't have a baby, but I feel like because she had a baby, I had a baby. She's just got to do more of the heavy lifting. But yes, she had a baby. His name's Maxwell, and he is the most adorable little boy that I've ever met, honestly. I actually also recorded a podcast episode with her and her husband Lenny, and that is going to be up on my podcast soon. Podcast update, sorry, before I'm veering off. I'm all over the place here. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But the Grown Folks podcast is now available on at the iTunes podcast app, Spotify, still available on SoundCloud, and loads of other platforms. I will have linked it in the description box below, so you'll be able to go and check it out. But yeah, a good friend of mine who also has a podcast, Chris, told me about this platform called Anchor, which basically syndicates your podcast across all of these different platforms so that you don't have to do it, because I spent ages trying to figure out how to get it on the iTunes app, and it was a nightmare. Reason I mention him is I'm also in his podcast, which will be out next week, but I will have linked it in the description box below, so you should check that out. It's me talking about how to build your passion around your 9 to 5, and then he's also going to be on my podcast in a few weeks, talking about social selling. But the episodes that I want to point you guys to, which will be linked down below, is one I did with my friend Tracy, who is a property investor, and it was basically all about how to build your property portfolio. It's a sick episode, like, it's so good. She's incredible, and I think you guys will really enjoy that, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I did a podcast with Karen and Lenny, kind of talking about their journey, modern day marriage, having, starting a family, and, just the challenges that they faced along the way. So that will be coming soon as well. So in order of appearance, it will be the property investment one, which is live now. Then it will be the modern day marriage episode with Karen and Lenny, and then it will be the social selling episode with Chris, whose podcast is Not Another Sales Podcast. I'll pop it down below. So yeah, so basically, to get back to the point, just really supporting friends through these new journeys in life. So my friend Karen had a baby, my cousin Julian had a baby back in, gosh, when was it? That was like May last year, but essentially 2018 was me kind of seeing people who are really close to me become mothers, and it was wonderful. It was crazy because, when you kind of go and you're like at a stage in life, like with your friends, and you're all like partying together, and you're talking about the future and blah blah blah, and what's life going to be like when you have kids and all that kind of stuff, and now it's happening, and it's like grown-ups. So that's been really incredible and amazing to see, and it's also been especially lovely because these two women are two women who I've always thought would make absolutely wonderful mothers. So it's been nice to see that dream of theirs come to life. So I'm a very proud friend of them both. And also my friend Suki, who I go to see occasionally in vlogs. So if you ever see that I'm in Windsor, I'm going to see Suki. She also became a mum last year to a beautiful baby girl. And yeah, it's been a year of babies. Oh gosh. So I'm just carving out my okay, so relationships, so that's friendships, family, continuing to get to know my parents in my adulthood, and they're getting to know who I am as an adult. It's always a bit of a weird, I feel like, transition as an African person, being raised in an African household, because you go for, I feel like, such a while sort of very much being like, I have to respect my parents, I have to do what they say, and like always like just what they say goes. Like I found like I was very obedient in that way, and now I'm at a stage where I have to figure things out for myself, and I have to not stand up to them, because it's not like that, but like I have to let them know that this is how I'm doing certain things now, and them seeing me as like a fully fledged grown up. And I'm 30, and that probably should have happened a long time ago, but now I'm like, I think the respect that they have for me as an adult is definitely grown so much, and I've definitely started to see them in more of a human light. I think a lot of times in life we not idolize, but we what's the word I want to use? But we put our parents up on a pedestal, and sometimes we forget that they're human, and we forget that they are also people who are also growing and learning, and you know, trying to figure this thing called life out. And when you grow up and you know, you experience things in life, you realize that actually, life is hard. And I really rate what my parents have done for me, like to raise 4 kids in a new country, new environment, not knowing anyone, not being a part of the system, having to start from the bottom up. I just think they're amazing. They're amazing. I love them. Also trying to, like, you know, connect more with them, particularly my dad, and just trying to like grow that bond. The dynamic between a dad and his daughter, especially in African culture, it varies, but generally speaking, it's a relationship of, you kind of, you know, you love your dad from afar a little bit, because normally how it works is your dad's kind of used as the last port of call for discipline. So you taught to sort of fear him, and when you grow up, that kind of, for me anyway, it kind of put a bit of a, not a wall in between us, but like a like I didn't really have that bond of friendship that I have with my mum. With my dad, it was just more like, you know, dad's dad, and he's there and he's great and he loves us and he does all this stuff for us. But knowing him as a person has definitely come later in my life, which I'm trying to do more, and yeah, just making strides with that. So yeah, we continue on in relationship building. So yeah, as far as relationships goes, 2019 is just about nurturing the relationships that I have built up, and yeah, just, you know, kicking it and continuing to kick it with the people that I kick it with, and welcoming in the new people that I've met along the way. What else? So that was bronzer. So they discontinued my Sleek Wood Smoke pressed powder, so I've been using this Vital PP11 pressed powder, and it's doing the job. I'm going to go into my Morphe palette, as there is like a greyish brownish shade here in the corner that's kind of hit pan, so I'm going to have to find something else to do, that I want to deepen my crease up with. Wow, I've only spoken about relationships. Okay, let's go into finances, because I know you guys will be quite interested in that. So, as you know, this lady here has got a 2-year financial plan, which will hopefully put me in the position to, well, one, just get my finances in order, invest for my future, get on the property ladder, and just be an all-round financially responsible adult. That is in session. I've got my pension thing all set up, so I just need to start paying into it. So it's the first month. So I've ported like all my pensions over from previous places I used to work into one called into like one fund, which is run by a company called Pension Bee. So like, there's an app on your phone, you can see how much your fund is worth, pay in every month, whatever. It's all really good. And the great thing about Pension Bee, this is not a sponsored video by the way, but Pension Bee, if you want to sponsor me, I'm not mad at that. Is if you've moved around jobs a lot, like, and you have lots of different pension pots with different companies, they will do the legwork of calling those guys up and transferring your pension over. So you don't even have to do that. Which is amazing. You just have to give them, I think, your plan number and the company and the pension company, and they'll sort it all out for you basically. So that's good. What else has been going on? Finance, yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to do is save more because I am prepping for tax season. I've just done my self-assessment, but I know like business tax wise I'm going to have like VAT, corporation tax to pay soon, so I want to make sure I've got enough money put away for that. I want to make sure I've got enough emergency savings for when I'm like in between contracts. I want to make sure that I'm putting away enough to buy a house. I want to make sure I'm putting away for my pension, for my just general investment. So yeah, getting my life in order financially, and I'm very pleased about that. I got my credit score to I have a perfect credit score basically. So I think it was the 12th of January. I logged into my Experian account and I did a video all on this, like my finances. So I did a video on my credit score and how I boosted it. But that was last year, and I also did a podcast on how I'm investing for the future. So if you want to check those out, Grown Folks podcast will be linked down below. And the credit score video, it's like one of my last few videos, so you can find that in here. But yeah, like a week ago or so, when I checked, I had a 999 credit score of Experian, which I am ecstatic about. And I've never had a perfect credit score. I don't know anyone who does. So that is just amazing. So really, this year is about maintaining that. So as far as financial goals go, this is 1 year where I can say I've started off in a really great way. So I'm very pleased about that.
Welcome to the Stone Town. On me.